defensive end. Of course, you're told never to do that. If you are, to throw it way out in midcourt. He threw it right underneath the basket. A perfect feed, but to the wrong man, Dale Davis, who was playing with those very sore shoulders. One has been dislocated on 2 occasions, and one could pop out at any time, and that could be disaster for the Pacers the rest of the way.
It's called a non-shooting foul by Rick Scott, and kept alive by Antonio Davis. We come up on 1 minute remaining in this first quarter. Dale Davis from the outside. Davis tried to sweep in for the rebound and a foul call. Foul on Longley. It puts the Bulls over the limit. And Dale Davis, only a 53% free throw shooter, will go to the line.
And the look of concern on Phil Jackson's face right now, not happy at all with what his team is doing at the offensive end, and befuddled even more at the defensive end. Dale Davis, not normally looking for his offense, has tried a couple of post plays there. He took a very off-balance shot, but what he always seems to do is power his way to the offensive glass.
The free throw shooting of Dale Davis among active players. Well, he's unfortunately right there, a dubious distinction behind Chris Dudley and Chris Webber in terms of having his difficulties up the line, but he does hit the second. Phil Jackson here in the first quarter is seeing his greatest fears realized. The Bulls out of sync. Michael Jordan 0 for 5. And Chicago just having a very difficult time getting off. Making the adjustment with the return of Jordan. Armstrong hits the 3. And the Pacers now lead 21-13.
Interesting matchup now with B.J. Armstrong guarding the perimeter, Byron Scott, and Pete Myers guarding the ball handler and post player, post point guard, in Vern Fleming.
Armstrong on the move, and he's hit on a reach-in.
Another reason for the recent success of the Bulls, and really throughout the last couple of years, is B.J. Armstrong not getting off to good starts early in the ballgame, but as the game starts to wear on, he starts to look to penetrate more. He was not known for that when he first came in the lane. Of course, his job was to be the perimeter player and let Jordan and Pippen create plays for the spot-up shooters, he and John Paxson, but B.J. has improved in putting it on the floor.
And one of the better free throw shooters in the NBA, 87% at the line. Here's Reggie Miller back. And Dale Davis, who had an outstanding first quarter, sitting down 5 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocked shots. Ron Harper has come on for Chicago, replacing Corey Blount.
And Ron Harper has been making more of a contribution in a limited role. Hit 3 big three-pointers coming down the stretch in that win against Milwaukee on Friday night.
Scottie Pippen had the big shot on Friday. A 3-point play off a soaring jam with 3 seconds left. Won it for Chicago. Pippen at 27 points, 11 rebounds, 8 steals, and 6 assists. Final seconds of the first quarter. A pass intended for Ferrell just came on. Scott checking the clock. Too late. That is the end of the first quarter. Michael Jordan makes his return. Goes 9 minutes. Goes 0 for 5 from the field. Reggie Miller hits 2 from downtown. 3 of 6 overall for 10 points. And the Pacers over the Bulls 21-15 here at Market Square.
38 games so far this year after the operation for a bulging disc is back, and he is a key player. It's going to be key for any of the teams in both conferences to have that extra big man inside, and that's what Antonio Davis represents along with that man Dale Davis.
Indiana actually in the midst of a stretch with overall 15 of the last 21 here at home. It's a 21-15 Pacer lead. Chicago only 5 of 19 from the field in the first quarter. Indiana 8 for 20, and off the boards, the Pacers rocking the Bulls to the tune of a 16-6 advantage.
And 7 points off those 16 rebounds. And I think Phil Jackson's going to start to think about it, and it might not be in a game or two, but changing the starting lineup, going back to maybe bringing Kukoc off the bench and get maybe a Corey Blunt, a bigger body in there to do some of the dirty work inside.
Off the steal, Vern Fleming for Byron Scott. Antonio Davis, Wayne Farrell, and Rick Spitz are up front. Indiana, a very deep ball club. They go basically with a 10-man rotation. Here's Fleming with the shot clock running down. Rebound, Spitz. The Pacers lead by 8. Pete Myers try to break, but Byron Scott able to get back.
With this particular lineup on the floor for Chicago, not a lot of firepower, just BJ and Scottie Pippen.
And Pippen drills it home. 23-17. Indiana, after the slow start by Chicago, they did finish with a 6-1 run at the end of the first quarter.
And have to be excited and thrilled with only being 6 points down for as poorly as they played in that first quarter.
Well, they started, Matt, 1 for 12 from the field. Scott, that's a three-pointer for the 33-year-old Byron Scott, who has been playing extremely well. Outside official, Ken Mauer with the call. It's on the Pacers. It's on Farrell. And here's Steve Kerr checking in, as both clubs have done quite a bit of shuffling here in the first half. On the subject of Byron Scott, Larry Brown says he is the Pacers' best athlete. He's played so well both this season and last season. Last year, the Pacers gave him a new 2-year contract. Longley, wild shot, rebounded by Blunt, and a loose ball foul call.
Well, in that triangle offense, there are just so many jump shots that are taken, which affords a lot of offensive rebounding opportunities. And if you're alert, as Horace Grant was for so many years, you can pick off a lot. Corey Blunt is starting to get a better feel for this offense.
Call for the foul again. Pippen will go to the line. Scottie Pippen actually had the ball knocked away, was trying to tap it to the hoop as he was hit by Antonio Davis. And now Scottie Pippen will shoot 2. Minute 45 gone by in the second quarter. Pacers with the 26-17 lead. Marv Albert with Matt Goufus on the shot. Matt Costas is with us. Michael Jordan is with us. Played the first 9 minutes, 8:59 of the first quarter to be precise, but missed his first 5 shot attempts. Sam Mitchell comes on for the first time. Sam Mitchell has been in and out of the starting lineup, what with the injuries suffered earlier by both Dale Davis and Antonio Davis.
And now we see the Bulls extending their defense after the free throw situation, and I'm sure this is something they're going to go to more and more now that Michael Jordan is back. They'll be able to use Kukoc and Blunt, big people up on the ball, much as Horace Grant used to, and that used to create a lot of turnovers and easy hoops for the Bulls.
Yes, that's a subject that we have touched on a number of occasions when we've seen Chicago play. As Pete Myers is able to hit the jump shot. The fact that the Bulls trap so successful in recent years has not been an operation, but with Michael Jordan back, it's certainly a different picture when it comes to the defensive end for Chicago. And the foul is called on Myers. 9:47 remaining, second quarter. Timeout taken. Indiana now leads by 5. Time to time during the course of the game, he will be stretched out, although he does come into today with a strained left shoulder. Did not seem to have any problems at all in the first quarter when he was able to hit for 10 points.
And the reason that shoulder is so sore, it got tangled up with Shaquille O'Neal under the basket on Friday night. I talked to Reggie yesterday in practice. He said he felt like it was almost going to be pulled up. The Pacers were a very loose basketball team at their shoot-around yesterday. And then when they found out about the Michael Jordan situation, their whole demeanor seemed to change.
We'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching the Utah Jazz and the Charlotte Hornets. We welcome you to Market Square Arena with 9:47 remaining in the first half. And the Pacers leading the Bulls 26-21. Michael Jordan is back on the floor. Played the first 9 minutes in the first quarter. Attempted 5 shots, did not hit. And when Michael sat down, Chicago outscored Indiana to 6. Scottie Pippen and B.J. Armstrong have accounted for 18 of the Bulls' 21 points.